Welcome back. I'm giving you another episode of 666 Seconds of Murder. You know what's up. That means that this video will be less than 666 seconds or 11 minutes and 6 seconds. So make sure you keep up. I'm going to be moving at breakneck speed today to get you on your way. And today, of course, I'm sporting a different kind of shirt, some Better Call Saul. Gotta love that show. Love that show. Breaking Bad was awesome too. All right, do me a favor. Just take a moment to like the video. Also, if you're not a subscriber, please consider doing that before you leave today. And leave a comment below and just throw up some horns or whatever you want to say. It helps the video get out there to more people just like you. It is important to remember that with my videos, these are just my opinions and speculation. I'm not saying anyone's guilty of anything at all. Everyone in this story is not guilty because there's not been a court decision, and everything I say is alleged. Now, I'm sure most of you that follow this case of the Idaho 4 have had some questions about victim Ethan Chapin and his siblings. He was one of the triplets that went to the University of Idaho. His brother Hunter was also a member of the Sigma Chi fraternity. With all that cloak and dagger crap that the fraternities are known for, and this sketchy behavior we've heard about in this case, it gives me an unsettling feeling, to be honest with you. Now, if Hunter Chapin was a Sigma Chi member, did he have any knowledge of the crimes before they happened? I mean, it sounds hideous to even think about something like that, but I've heard no evidence pointing to it either. But, you know, as tight as these frats are, I find it hard to believe that he would have been completely clueless of it. And if not before, at least after. We've heard everyone knew about this. And so, you know, that's a concept that some people believe it was the case here. Either way, it's just totally messed up. Now, we've heard that Hunter Chapin was there at the house before 911 was called. It was Hunter Johnson. Some people get the Hunters confused, that opened the door to Xana's bedroom, if you believe the 911 call. He does it during the conversation with 911, but with that in mind, why did they even call 911? Because did they assume that Xana was passed out drunk in her bedroom with the door closed if they didn't go in the room? Or wouldn't they have rushed up to her and see if she was actually okay and maybe shook her and said her name and put your ear up to the chest and something like that? And could you imagine doing all of that if that body was attacked like they say it was? I mean, gored? You'd be covered in blood. And you knew that you weren't dealing with just some drunk college student. So there are many people who suspect the Sigma Chi fraternity in their alleged involvement. We've heard from multiple sources that there was a fight the night before at the Sigma Chi party with Ethan and David Loach. Xana was somewhat involved, we've heard as well. It sounds a little complicated, but really Loach and Ethan just did not like each other at all. There was the infamous 4chan post that referred, to that issue between those two as kind of the catalyst of the night. And you got Loach also had a thing for Xana, so he was jealous of Ethan. And Ethan had failed some classes his first time. He's a second-year freshman. Got really bad grades, and it hurt the frat. So anyway, there were lots of things there that would have been easily, something to spark a fight. And then oddly, though, at that same party was the other two siblings. You had Hunter there, Hunter Chapin, and his sister Maisie. They were both at the same party as well. Now, did they know more than what we do when it comes to what actually happened? I mean, I would guarantee that they do if they were there. I mean, how much really is it, a matter of debate? Honestly, it seems obvious, but how much we don't know. And adding to the oddities of the Chapins, we know that their dad was golfing with President Scott Green, from time to time, and they sent their kids to the university where their son had been savagely slain. So after this all happened, that the other Maisie and Hunter go back to the University of Idaho. A lot of people find that very odd. I couldn't imagine doing it. I would send my kids as far away from Idaho as possible if something like that had happened on their campus or very near the campus. Now, I do believe the reason that some have sparkled things, that have sparked things that might revolve around Ethan. Personally, that Sigma Chi fraternity had some kind of involvement. The 4chan post calls them out as David Loach and David Baracoa, plus two others. I've always thought that seemed a strange realism in those 4chan posts. It just seemed to be oddly in the know. And then later, of course, we found out a lot of the nicknames and things they were using were things that later became known to us. So, they were right about many, many things. It was less than a month after the crimes those came out. Now, some have rumored that Ethan was going to the police with some information that he had about the death of Hudson Lindau 5 months earlier. I did a video about that, but Hudson was a fellow Sigma Chi member that, rumors claim that, maybe, Ethan knew something about, some nefarious acts that led to Hunter's, death. I don't know, because it was ruled an accidental suicide, of course, by the Moscow PD, but he was in 2 inches of water at the Paradise Creek. So right off of the Greek Row area. So I don't know about that. Now, ironically, another frat boy, Joseph Wyderick, he also died after a night of drinking at a frat party, but then ends up like 7 miles away and frozen to death under a bridge. The police said it was, an accident, and just like they did with Hudson. And another thing about Joseph Wyderick that's kind of weird is his body was found under the Paradise Creek Bridge, which of course bears the name to the same creek that Hudson Lindau died in. Really, really ironic. So did things start with Ethan and then got kind of out of control, affecting the other roommates in the house? I guess we'll never know. Maybe, who knows? We might. If that was the case, it would be unlikely that they would have, left any survivors unless those survivors were helping them in some way or they weren't there at all. The 4chan post said that the triplets or the targets were Ethan, Maddie, and Xana. Kaylee was just collateral damage. Wasn't meant to be there. And just wrong place, wrong time. Again, according to the 4chan post. And it makes sense when you look at all of the information that's been now known, how seemingly accurate those 4chan posts are. If I were to attack the house, Ethan would be the first one I'd want to take out. And that would be obvious, right? He's a big guy. Ethan and Loach were roughly about the same height and build and very athletic. Loach played lacrosse and was a wrestler, and Ethan was majoring in physical fitness or something like that. But with weapons and the element of surprise, Ethan didn't stand a chance against these guys. And there would have been, many, many rumors about these wounds that he suffered But, I'm not going to repeat any of them because I don't know which ones are true and which ones are false. I've never heard anything official about Ethan's wounds, but I believe his golf clubs were used in some way, whether he used them against them or they used them against him or both. I've always wondered, if he kind of heard a noise and looking around his room and saw the golf clubs and grabbed one to go investigate. Hard to say. Now, there are many who believe that he was beaten outside with Xana and then brought into the house to either finish up the job or to stage the scene to kind of throw off investigators. I mean, I definitely can't rule that option out. We know that Ethan's mom said 2:00 was a dark hour. And in my scenario of how I feel things went down, I think Xana and Ethan were murdered between 2 and 2:30 a.m. And then the group went upstairs to get Maddie and Kaylee. Now, Steve G, take him or leave him, he said they didn't have to go upstairs. So I wonder. Now, there's a Maisie Chapin, and she was at the party that night too. Did she know anything? Hard to say. She was voted the sweetheart of Sigma Chi the following year. And to those of us who think Sigma Chi may have had some involvement here, that is just revolting, honestly. It seems like a sick joke, to be completely honest with you. Sort of like Sigma Chi member and friend Ethan Chapin, who donated to $6 to Ethan's foundation as a sort of an inside joke. Old Jack Kadovich there. And all those $6 Venmo payments the night before, was that some sort of sick joke? I don't know. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this one. Comment below with your thoughts. Check out my website, PeteAltieri.com, if you like to read dark and dreadful, scary stuff. I do horror and suspense. I've got novels and short story collections. I've got free samples so you can read a little bit to see if you want to buy at a good, secure store. So check it out, PeteAltieri.com. All my books come with a poster and a bookmark, and I'll sign each one. Big thanks to all the members of the Horns High Club. You guys are the shit. I love you. And I appreciate everybody that watches these videos with us. It's just a great community. So I appreciate all of you guys. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'll see you next time.